I think it's just what the doctor ordered, really. So I think a lot is made there in the last couple of weeks. It's been a difficult few weeks. 6 losses on the bounce, wasn't it, and 1 goal scored. And I think, heads were down, but we needed a performance, but we needed a result as well, and we got both.
We got both. Sometimes you don't get both. Yeah. We certainly haven't had the results. We've had some performances, but we haven't had the results. I genuinely feel at times we just haven't had the bounce of the ball. I genuinely feel a lot of the young players have felt under pressure because the constant talks about the playoffs. I've banned talking about the playoffs in the changing room now, so we won't talk about it anymore. It's about playing the next game. That's how it all started, one game at a time. But we live in a world where social media determines what people say, and all the talk has been about, the playoffs are gone. If we lose this week, they're gone. They're finished, season over, all that stuff, and that's me listening to the players talking, not me reading it myself, because I don't read it. I don't have Facebook. I must be one of the only people in the world that doesn't have Facebook. So I don't read it. I don't read the stuff, but the players read it, and then you hear them talking, and then we lose this week, that's the playoffs gone. And I try to say to them in there, try and stay away from the social media. You can't control what people write, and that's the hardest part of being a footballer. It was easy in my day because there was no social media. You just got the boy standing in the stand, and he let you know how well you were doing. So now it's easy to I remember when it first started coming out, there was a paper back home. There used to be an article called "The Man on the Stand." He never gave his name, but he wrote a piece, and he was sometimes very abusive in that. And the difference is we now live in a world where everything's instant. And believe me when I say this, they have suffered in there. They don't like losing games of football either, because a lot of them in there are from here. They're from this part of the world. It's not like before, maybe, where there wasn't that many from here. There's quite a considerable few in my squad of 22 that are from here. So they struggle with it, and they have to walk down their own streets. Should it be in a Shown? Should it be in Ballybuffet? Should it be Letterkenny? Wherever they're from, they have to listen to people, Harps beat again, Harps beat again. And look, I suppose that's been the running theme over the last number of years. It's not as if we're going into league seasons and winning 20 plus games. So because they've lifted expectations at the start of this year, it brought us some type of pressure. And again, it was something that they have never had before, because they've never been in this position before, and it's something that they'll learn to deal with. And they're now, hopefully that gives them a bit more belief back. And we go to Athlone next week, and hopefully we try and put in another committed performance. I've said here, I think there's only one game this year where I've been disappointed. The rest of the games, have I been disappointed with results? Of course you do, because you want to win games. But you have to understand where we are as a football club, and that's what's more important for me. It's getting the message out of where we are now as a football club. We're not where we used to be, and I don't want us to be where we are, and it will take time to get us to where we need to be. But the person that 4 or 5 years down the line comes in after me, hopefully has a real good solid base, and we're starting to put them wee small steps in place for the amount of academy kids that we've come through. And we're not just bringing them through for the sake of bringing them through. The ones that we're bringing through are making considerable amount of steps in the right direction, and they're being pivotal in games. You look at Dixie Furry scores, and he's only 21. We've got to remember that he's 21. He's not a 29-year-old centre forward who's scored 20 a season. So he's learning on his feet. He was an underage player at Derry, and then he had one season at Ballinamallard, and now he's been through into the spotlight. And he works in the town in Letterkenny, so I'm sure he listens to it constant, and he beats himself up so much. So I'm delighted for him. I really am. I'm really delighted for him, because he's worked really hard all week, and he took his goal really well. He showed a real good composure when he goes through, and it's a really good finish. And the second goal is something that we had worked on all week, and great ball in by Max Johnson. Kevin has been saying for all season, stand the ball up, just stand the ball up. You've seen it, Nigel, you've been at training, you've heard it. He stands the ball up, and Jamie Watson comes in. It's a good finish. It's something we worked on all week. We wanted the two wing backs to play high and wide and affect the game, and they affected the game. They got the second goal. But look, I could single so many people out. I'm not going to stand here and do that. It's because it's about them in there. I didn't go in after the game. I just went and got changed myself, because it's about them. It ain't about me. It's about them. They're the ones that win the games, and they're the ones that lose the games. And I see how they suffer. So I wanted them to have their moment in there, them and the rest of the staff, because they deserve it. And I have each and every one of them, all my staff members and each and every one of the players have worked so hard, tirelessly, to try and get that result. So I just felt it was right for me to slip away into the night and allow them to have their time, because they've suffered. Believe me, I'm with them all the time, so I'm delighted for them. And plus, there was that thought in a lot of their minds. You know, one of our own, in young Dara Coyle, obviously went through his operation today and was cruciate, so it's going to be a long road back for Dara. He's a very, very popular member of the squad for being such a young man. So there was a wee bit of hurt in there for him too. You know, they're realising how fortunate they are that they're out in the pitch. Dara would give everything to be out in the pitch, but unfortunately he's going through a process now that he will get us the full support and full backing of this football club. I've spoke to the committee at length, and I spoke to Dara and I spoke to his family last night, and we're gonna offer Dara an extension in his contract to give the boy time. You know, I'm not going to stand here in the camera and talk about how important the academy is and how important it is to try and get young players coming through that want to play for Finn Harps, and try and attract the best young players here, when one of our own is going through what he's going through and his contract's coming to an end. So to give him peace of mind, I spoke to him at length about that. Don't be rushing yourself back. Do it right. Take it step by step. And the door's here and the contract's here, and we will do all we can to get you back out in the pitch. And I just think it lifted a burden. It's maybe something that you don't see in football quite a bit. You know, this is a beautiful game and it can be a really horrible business. So I just think we're doing the right thing with the young man, and it gives the young man peace of mind, and it gives him his family peace of mind, and his family know that we're fully behind him as a football club, and it gives him the opportunity to progress and get himself back. And I know nobody will work harder, because even now, before he had his operation, he was in the gym every day doing what he had to do. Speaking to his mother last night, she says, could I talk to him about his schoolwork? She says, because if he was as dedicated to his schoolwork as he was with the information that we're giving him to do in the gym, he might be brighter than what he already is. But no luck, he has my best wishes. I'll speak to him tomorrow, and that 3 points was for him, and the boys wanted to go out and put a performance in for him because he was in the back of everyone's mind. So we'll all get in touch with him tomorrow, and hopefully it's all went well for him.